Greetings, brethren, Hausburger Donkey here, and it's been quite a while since I made a video. Multiple reasons. I've been ill, I've not really had anything painted because I was still stuck with my commissions, which, while I was still doing that, I didn't really feel like painting. And now, since I have painted a bunch of stuff, and then I wanted to make a video about the squats, but then the deadline crept up on me and I had to turn them in before I was actually able to make a video. So I'm still kind of contemplating. I will probably make a quick video where I just do a slideshow and just talk over it. But yeah, today we're just talking about random other things I've painted. Namely, a thing that I've been kind of enthused about for a while, and that is this. It's a 10mm war game, fantasy war game by Spellcrow, which is a Polish company. They started out making bits for orcs and things like that, which is the way of success for a lot of Polish manufacturers, it seems. And yeah, they've come out with this quite a while ago already, but it's taken them a bit to really sort of solidify it into an actual game. Now there's rules for it. The English translation is a little questionable, but it works. You can absolutely play it fine, and it does have. I mean, obviously by the pictures, you can tell that it has a certain old school vibe to it, and the rules definitely reflect that as well. So yeah. By the way, if you're wondering about these starter kits, because I have seen some people think, wow, there's only 2 factions. There are actually 4 factions, and they are quite different. So there's 2 of these sort of lizardy man factions, and then 2 of the barbarian factions. But they do work very differently, purely based on how the army is constructed. So for example, in this box you see you get these small frogs and these reptile guys, and then some of the bigger warriors. And in the Arox army, which is the one I chose, they're sort of sun-worshipping frog people. These are your basic units. So you have to use a couple of units of these. And these are an elite unit, so you can use them. So in my army, for example, I don't have any of these reptilians because I don't really have slots for them. Yeah, and then most of your elite choices are actually other toad people, so the army ends up being mostly toads and frogs. And with these other guys, the Sorgax, these ones are the standard infantry, and then they have all sorts of other stuff that the Arox can't actually take. So you do end up with very different looking armies, even though both of them have basically the same stuff in the starter box, which I think is probably an incorrect choice. They probably should have gotten rid of the reptilians and put in what I actually ended up painting for them. So I have here a unit of the basic Leagulian frog boys. Just adjust this a little bit. There we go. So that's great. Yeah, and these were quite a lot of fun to paint. I really, really enjoyed them. I did some stuff that I normally don't do with painting these. And namely, I primed these white, then primed them all magenta, or sprayed them magenta, and then I gave them a zenithal of white again, so that basically the undersides of them were magenta only. And you can see it on a few of them still. It's easier to see on the other guys that I painted. But yeah, it creates these sort of warm shadows underneath. And then I painted in all the bits, like the spears and the blue feathery, hairy bits on the spear. And I highlighted those bits, and that was pretty much it. So I didn't really spend too much time working on these, but I think they ended up looking great. And then I also have 2 smaller units of these elite frogs. So these are the Sanctified, is what they're called in the army, and they're basically armored elite Leagulians. So, as I said, in my Arox army, I don't actually have any reptilians. It's basically all frogs. Yeah, I think they turned out quite nice. I didn't. They're 10 millimeter in size, so you know there's a limit to what you can do with in terms of painting fidelity. But yeah, I painted them as well as I thought would be necessary to make the units look good, and I think the units ended up looking really great. So yeah, and then I have one. Basically, I made all of these guys crests red and all of these guys crests blue, and I need a second unit of these. So I bet you can imagine what color their spear tufts are going to be. And I also still need to paint some of the character models that I have for this army. And yeah, I really like it. I think it's kind of neat, and it doesn't take too much time to paint up a whole army for these for this game. So yeah, quite enjoyable. Will I be getting deep into this game? I don't know. I am eyeing the new Sheol Morg army that came out, the evil folks with like demons and skeletons. I think that army looks pretty cool, but I haven't decided yet. But for now, I'm really enjoying painting these, despite them being resin figures, which is something I generally despise. But oh well. So yeah, these are done. Which is most of the core of that army completed. Most of what I still have. I still have one more unit of the spear frogs, and then everything else is pretty much just yeah, larger troops. And then the next thing that I'm working on is something a bit different. It's these 1 to 72nd scale American GIs. The models are from Plastic Soldier Company, and these are going to be for bolt action. So the locals have decided that they want to do bolt action at 1 to 72nd scale, and I happen to have a bag of these from Plastic Soldier Company in the basement. I don't know when I ordered it, but yeah, I had them. So I thought, you know what? I'll jump in because that way I might actually get some games of something in, which is I haven't really played a game in a long time now, so it would be kind of cool to yeah, to just play a game. And I'm not going to put too much work into these. As you can see, I primed them gray, and then I sprayed over the whole model with this one, Panzer Aces Highlight Russian Tank Crew 2, which is basically going to be the color for the M41 jackets and the gaiters. And then I painted over that the trousers with US Field Drab. The helmets I painted with yellow olive from VMC. The webbing I'm going to paint with Highlight US Tank Crew from the Panzer Aces series. Their skin is going to be Flesh Base from the Panzer Aces series. And then their guns and boots are going to be in Flat Brown from VMC. And all the gun metal is going to be Dark Rubber from Panzer Aces. And then afterwards they're going to get an all-over wash. And then I'm going to do a few highlights, probably on the M41 jackets and on their faces. Maybe on the trousers, but probably not. And then I'll just base them up and they'll be done. So this will be a very quick sort of painting job. Just so that they're, you know, they look decent and they're ready to play. Because honestly, I mean, they're not super small, but the detail on these figures isn't, you know, the greatest. They're very much sort of in the tradition of old sort of Airfix and Revell miniatures and Italieri, which is fine. You know, I mean, they were also really cheap, right? I mean, I got I have a whole bunch more over here, and I got 3 whole squads, so 30 infantry. This is my CO. I have a sniper team. I have a forward observer. And I bodged together this medic team where I sort of built this guy a stretcher to make him look like he's part of the sort of medic team. And yeah, and a few of these casualty markers. I don't even know if I'm going to need them. But it's a lot of stuff. That's basically a whole infantry army in bolt action. You just need a few tanks, which I don't have yet, but I probably will get some. And that bag, I'm pretty sure when I bought it, it must have cost like 15 euros. I've seen it in German online stores now for 17.99, and I think that's a great deal. For that cheap, I'm actually gonna get to play some games of bolt action, which who can complain? So yeah, these are gonna be next, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna see a video on them being completed very soon, because it just will not take very long to paint all of these. I mean, I'm already half done by just doing the pants and the helmets, right? So yeah, pretty neat. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and not sure when you'll see more of these Argatoria miniatures, but yeah, there's definitely a few other videos that I'm going to be making soon. All right, thank you for sticking around on my channel. I am still watching other people, and I will make a video about it as well, because my feed has changed. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.